This is news on WhatsApp Caribbean for Tuesday, January 20th, 2015. Stay with us as we brief you on regional developments. I am Deanza Roberts. In the headlines, members of the creative sector in Barbados stand to benefit from the Cultural Industries Development Act. Search called off for missing plane in Guyana, and students' grade at UE withheld. Legal action on the horizon. And in sports, Carl Hooper appointed head coach of the Guyana Amazon Warriors for the 2015 Lima Call CPL. The details of these and other developments straight ahead.
Double charge. Dirty life. Double charge. Boom. The fed start. The place mad. One flash of rum. My head gone. Fall in the fed like raindrops. So when I lead, you follow me. Lord, as I reach the fed, I jump it up. Any girl I hold, I walk it on. Don't come and tell me the party done. Cause I come in here to play bass. Cause right now me, turbo, boom, charge. Right now me, turbo, charge. Right now me, turbo.
In the news, the Cultural Industries Development Act will be proclaimed on Sunday, February 1st, 2015. That's according to Barbados Minister of Culture, Sports and Youth, Stephen Lashley. He says the act comes with a number of incentives. One of the key components of the incentives is to make provisions for the private sector to be able to invest in the cultural industry sector.
As part of the government growth strategy, we have earmarked the cultural industries sector as being a key pillar that will help to propel growth in the local economy, and therefore the provision of these incentives, which we have promised based on our going to Parliament to have this legislation enacted after very lengthy and certainly detailed consultation with members of the creative sector, will actually roll out to the creative practitioners avenues in which they can get ahead with their creative businesses, and also avenues by which they could basically join with the government in terms of creating the kind of framework within which we can have the expansion of the creative industries and by extension the cultural industry sector in Barbados.
That was Minister of Culture, Sports and Youth Stephen Lashley. Under the Cultural Industries Development Act, creative practitioners could take advantage of funding, duty-free concessions, and income tax benefits for projects. Despite an intensive 21 days of aerial and ground searches in mountainous and densely forested terrain in Region 8, Guyana, for the Air Services Limited Britain Normal Islander, there is still no sight of the aircraft and its occupants. The Guyana Civil Aviation Authority on Monday said, over the past 3 weeks, the search for the missing aircraft and its occupants engaged a varied and substantial number of resources, and all leads have been exhausted without success. As a result, the Minister of Public Works, in collaboration with the Rescue Coordination Center, has taken a decision to bring the operation to an end. The aircraft disappeared on a routine shuttle operation from Matia to Carisparu late last month. The captain, Nikki Yakish Passad, aged 27, and cargo handler David Bisnott were the two occupants. In Trinidad, the University of the West Indies Guild of Students Public Relations Officer, that's Nikolai Edwards, yesterday voiced an intention to take legal action against the institution if lecturers continue to withhold students' grades. Lecturers represented by the West Indies Group of University Teachers have reportedly refused to release grades until the university pays outstanding salary arrears. Lecturers are reportedly owed some $87 million in salary arrears. The Guild's president, Matthew Peters, in a News Power Now interview, described the situation as unacceptable.
Trying not to jeopardize the students' legal process. At the end of the day, the students will be major stakeholder of the University of the West Indies, and we as students have our rights and our part to play being an entity of the university. Those kind of unfair that the UB students have to be in this predicament. And it's unfair for us, the students, feeling disgruntled, feeling uncomfortable, feeling like the University of the West Indies is not doing enough to bring about that support for us as students.
That was Trinidad's UWI Guild President Matthew Peters speaking to News Power Now. That's how we end news. Up next, a look at sports.
I love Girlfriends Expo. It's amazing. I love Girlfriends Expo.
Welcome back. In sports, the Guyana Amazon Warriors has appointed former West Indies and Guyana cricketer Carl Hooper as the head coach of the Guyana Amazon Warriors for the 2015 edition of the Lima Caribbean Premier League, the CPL. Following his retirement from professional cricket, Hooper has held various coaching positions, which included the assistant coach for the Antigua Hawks Bill in 2014 and coach of the West Indies Cricket Board's High Performance Centre in Barbados. A former West Indies captain, Hooper was an elegant right-handed batsman and off-spin bowler who came to prominence in the late 1980s in a team that included other West Indies cricket legends such as Courtney Walsh, Curtly Ambrose, Desmond Haynes, Gordon Greenwich and Malcolm Marshall. Finally, in sports, the Cayman Islands national football team has been paired with Belize in the first round of the regional qualifiers for the FIFA 2018 World Cup to be held in Russia. The first match will be an away game for the Cayman, followed by a home leg. This is a very tough draw for the Cayman Islands, which is seeded 33rd in the region, while Belize is ranked 23rd. Cayman has not played on the international stage for 4 years, and they are currently at the bottom of the world rankings, and the team is likely to struggle to gain any points in the matchup. But if the national squad does come out on top, the team will go on to play Dominica in the second round. That was a look at sports. A recap of the headlines straight ahead.
I love Girlfriend Expo. I love Girlfriend Expo. Amazing.
Looking back at the top stories making news, members of the creative sector in Barbados stand to benefit from the Cultural Industries Development Act. The search called off for missing plane in Guyana, and students' grade at UWI in Trinidad has been withheld. Legal action is on the horizon. In sports, Carl Hooper has been appointed head coach of the Guyana Amazon Warriors for the 2015 Lima CPL. Remember, for the latest in news, sports and other developments in the region, log on to whatsupcaribbean.com, like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. This has been a Carib Fair production. Thanks for joining us.